Alright guys, how's it going? Hope you're all doing well. Today we are going to go through the King of Mill, the big angry elephant himself, Great Tusk. Guys, Mill is back and it is back with a vengeance, and this deck is, for a Mill deck guys, I believe it's pretty broken. It's unbelievably fun to play online and in person. So we're just going to go through my 60 card build for Great Tusk. Obviously, starting off then guys, we of course are playing 4 copies of Great Tusk. For those of you who don't know how Great Tusk works, for 2 colourless energy, you can use the attack land collapse. It discards a card off your opponent's deck and puts it into the discard pile. However, if you do play an ancient supporter, you can then mill 4 cards off the top of their deck. Guys, there is nothing better than seeing rare candies go into the discard pile and the look on a Charizard player's face. It's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, 4 copies of Great Tusk. The idea is to obviously use additional tool cards, to obviously beef up our angry elephants and just continue to mill. So, and obviously because we're not looking at taking prizes using this deck, it will take Charizard 2 attacks to knock it out if we add an Ancient Booster Capsule or Hero's Cape, which we'll go into a little bit later. Now, for a little bit of additional draw power and pivot, I do play 2 copies of Comfey for the flower selectability, but also it's quite an easy pivot as well to get in and out of the active, let's see more cards, and then obviously put Great Tusk up, ensuring that we've played an ancient supporter, and yeah, just continue to mill for that additional draw support. And obviously for discarding our energy for our Sada, we use Radiant Greninja, and we also have the addition of the Pidgeot V. Pidgeot V's in the deck guys, so we can use 4 Seal Stone, so we can find anything in the deck, but also if we get Ionoed or anything like that, and decent cards that we have in our hand, placed in the bottom of the deck, we can use Vanishing Wings, put Pidgeot back into the deck, reshuffle the deck, and obviously even if we had it in the active, for example, so we have a Great Tusk knocked out, put Pidgeot into the active, use Sada, build up a Great Tusk on the bench, Pidgeot back into the deck, shuffle the deck, push the Great Tusk up, and start milling again. So yeah, awesome stuff. So yeah, we only play 8 Pokemon in this deck. So like I said before, we need to play a supporter every turn. And of course, the first ancient supporter that we play is Professor Sider's Vitality. Obviously, accelerating 2 energy and allowing us to draw 3 cards. And then we are going to play 4 copies of Explorer's Guidance. So yeah, 8 supporters plus 1 tech supporter, which I will explain later on. So yeah, I've kept 2 additional tech cards for this deck to one side that I'll talk about at the end. Now, how do we find our Pokemon? Pretty simple, guys. We use 4 copies of Nest Ball, 1 Hisuian Heavy Ball, and we also play 3 copies of the Stadium Artazon. So we can obviously find our basic Pokemon as quickly as we can, because obviously they're a bit tanky. I don't want to clog up and have any body puffins just for the sake of a Comfey. So we just play 4 Nest Balls, the Hisuian Heavy Ball, and the Artazon. Yes, this does help at a decks, obviously Charizard decks, Temporal decks getting like a Frigivax or a Charmander out. But at the end of the day, guys, let them fill up their bench, because we can just snipe stuff off the bench later on, be really annoying, and just continue to mill through their deck. Now, in order to help us find our supporter cards, we use 4 copies of Pokégear. We use 4 copies of Earthen Vessel as well to help us find our basic energy. So that is our search options for the deck, guys, for supporters and Pokemon. Obviously, I like to set it up like this. It just makes it a bit easier for everyone to see. Now, just so we can be really annoying, we play 3 copies of Counter Catcher, because like I said before, we are not looking at taking any prizes when we're playing this deck. We just want to continue to mill, and obviously playing against a Charizard deck, if we have an Ancient Booster Capsule or a Hero's Cape attached to our Great Tusk, Charizard's going to have to take 2 attacks, which means we can mill 8 cards before they knock out a Great Tusk, which is absolutely fantastic. Now, just in case Great Tusks do get a little bit damaged, we do play 2 copies of Switch Cart to get in and out of the active, and obviously just in case we don't have the energy there to pivot the Comfeys or the Radiant Greninja as well. To put our basic energy and our Pokemon back into our deck, we play 2 copies of Super Rod. This is also good because we don't want to actually deck out ourselves, guys. That would be an absolute disaster. And to ensure that we can continue playing our supporter cards, we have an additional 2 Pal Pad, so we can put 4 supporter cards back into our deck when we need to. Now, I spoke about before, obviously, attachment cards for tools. So we are going to be running the new Heroes Cape. We will be running 2 rescue boards, 3 ancient booster capsules, and the 1 Force Seal Stone. Now guys, obviously the rescue boards are fantastic to put onto the Comfeys. Heroes Cape gives Great Tusk 240 HP. The ancient booster capsule takes our Great Tusk up to 200. So we need to make sure that we get these cards out of our deck and onto our Pokemon to allow them to have the best chance of staying in play on the board and stop them getting knocked out within 1 turn. We want all of our Great Tusks to at least have to have 2-hit KOs on them if we can make that possible. Now, energy for the deck, we are playing 4 double turbo and we are playing 6 basic fighting energy. I have seen a lot of decks playing Psychic Energy, but I have no intention of attacking with a Comfey whatsoever. And we don't run Mimikyu, so I don't see the point of having any Psychic Energy in the deck. Now, you'll notice that this is 58 cards. There are 2 tech cards that I have put into the deck purely and simply just in case we can't pull off an Ancient Supporter and we're only milling 1 card. Now, if we can't mill cards from the top of the deck, we aren't going to give up. We are going to take cards from people's hands. So Temporal, Lost Box, Charizard, Future Box, Guardy have massive hands. And obviously Snorlax Store as well, guys. We hate Snorlax Store. But hopefully we can mill just as much of their stuff away and cause them as much of a pain as they will to us. So what we do is, guys, if we can't play an Ancient Supporter, we play Eri. We play Eri, we have a look at our opponent's hand, see what we're dealing with, and obviously discard up to 2 item cards up behind there. So if we're playing Charizard, guys, I would quite happily, on like going second, mill 1 card but discard 2 rare candies or from their hand. It's just going to break them that little bit more. It really does affect their board state as well for their next turn. And then we play Hand Trimmer. So Hand Trimmer, obviously each of us discard cards until we have 5 cards in our hand. So imagine we're playing against a deck where they have like Guardy, for example. We can discard 2 item cards from their hand, puts them down to, I don't know, 8 cards, and then remove another 3 cards to their discard pile afterwards. So yeah, 2 additional tech cards to the deck, Eri and Hand Trimmer. I really like them. I think they're fantastic, especially if you can pull them both off together. So yeah, that is my Great Tusk build. Have a go on it online, guys. Copy the desk links down. Have fun playing it. I know I do. And yeah, I'll get some stream footage for you guys put together and show you how to play it on TCG Live. Have a good one, guys.